Yes, 35-year-old Oliver James says he was forgotten in school, seen as a bad child, telling me he felt like adults gave up on him. But it wasn't just school. He says he didn't have that extra push at home either.
There was not one book in my house.
Wow.
No, none. There's nothing. There's no books, no magazines. There's nothing. You grew up with none of that.
Oliver James says he never learned how to read as a child and spent his entire adult life finding ways to hide that. Every situation needed a strategy, from job applications.
I got bad eyes. Can you help me fill this out? Pay him 20 bucks. Like, you find ways, and then you get the job, and then you lie at the job.
Ordering from a fast food menu.
So if you went in before me and you're like, can I get a #1 with no ketchup, then I would order that way.
Even dating.
My friends used to text for me. When I remember that. That was hard because that was one of the reasons why I wanted to learn how to text, because girls were sending me text messages. I obviously wanted to keep to myself.
As the world slowed down during the pandemic, James decided that could be his chance.
And it opened my mind to say, if you can grow this little bit in this little time, imagine what you can do in a time that you really focus. Like, get up every day, spend 5 years reading. You don't know who you're going to be in front of.
He set a goal of 100 books, no matter how long it took. He was patient with himself, even using TikTok Live as strangers helped him sound out words. It's been a couple years, and he's 40 books in.
The Diary of Anne Frank, The Outsiders, The Gibbon Tree. That was like a little kid's book, but it's cool. I'm reading The Phantom Toll Booth.
At 35, James tells me he believes he's reading at a 4th grade level.
I go off of like the book. So if someone says that's around a 5th grade book, then I'm like, I'm struggling. I'm like, I'm not getting, like, this book is hard. And someone said it's around like 6th grade, like that's where they give it to kids. So I'm probably like elementary still, like 4th grade, making it to 6th.
At home, James is a father of 2, an infant and a 10-year-old. He won't repeat the same mistakes from his own childhood, having his son practice reading to him constantly. He tells me his child reads better than he does.
Even as I talk to you about it, it makes me want to choke up because I'm like, it's not that like it's just, you're supposed to know it. You know, you're supposed to know what he, knows and more. And I don't. I don't. He knows better than me when it comes to reading.
James says this process has been hard, emotionally draining, and a bit embarrassing. But books have opened up a new world.
I'm literally vulnerable and crying and feeling weaker than I ever possibly can, but I'm learning to read. I mean, I'm gaining a lot to let go of a little, if that makes any sense.
Oliver has a couple more words for everyone out there. He says, be patient with people, and remember, everyone is running around without what he calls a human user manual. And double that patience for children. Again, as I told you when we started this, he says that he was considered bad, but that wasn't true. He was just a child and should have been considered a child. Yeah. He also points out, there's a big focus on physical fitness here in California. And he says it's important to remember that exercising your brain is just as important as your body. So read, and then read a little more with the little ones in your life.
What a powerful story.
Thanks.
Gosh, and even just what, his vulnerability and even just him sharing how ashamed to a certain degree he is. Yeah. And when you're, all of us, in that shame spiral, it's hard to kind of find your way out of it. And it's such he's such a blessing to so many people.
Absolutely. I think the importance of just being patient, and also those stats, 1 out of 5. Just think about how many people moving through this world around you are reading pictures and finding other tricks and ways to figure it out so that you never find out that they're struggling to read.
Yeah.
So we got to just...
It takes a lot of courage to do what he's doing.
It really does, to share that story, for sure.
Thank you, Brooke.